But students, without further ado, I'm going to turn our call over. We have an amazing guest today with an amazing program. This brother is trying to give money away. I mean, simply put, right? And he's gonna tell you all about that and how y'all need to get locked in with it so we can make sure. Because again, our goal at CTC, we want all of y'all to go to college, but we want y'all to go to college for as little money as possible coming out of your pocket and your parent pocket. And this brother is definitely somebody that can help us make that happen. So please, without further ado, brother, you can feel free to take over.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Also, thank you, Dominique and CTC for having me on tonight. Definitely been wanting to present to your group of kids for a while. So we also always love to recruit and present to students from amazing programs. We love it when we can get kids from one amazing program and funnel them into our amazing program. So hopefully we can get lucky and get some of your great kids. Our goal, of course, is to recruit seniors. We recruit seniors out of the metropolitan Atlanta area. And I hadn't mentioned my name. Yes, I am Andrew Ragland, the founder, CEO and founder of the Five Strong Scholarship Foundation. And we have been recruiting amazing students out of the metropolitan Atlanta since 2016. And I'll be giving you more information as I set up my presentation, which I'll get ready to start right now. Okay, again, my name is Andrew Ragland. I am the founder of the Five Strong Scholarship Foundation. We have been around since 2016. Pictured right now are some of the cohorts. We've been recruiting different cohorts since 2016, and this is a picture of 4 of our different cohorts. The cohort in the middle is actually our most recent cohort from last year. Last year, we recruited and selected 60 scholars from metropolitan Atlanta and about 23 from Houston, Texas. So last year's cohort had the gray shirts on. The students in the blue over to the right, that's the actual first cohort that we sent to Albany State, and that was on the college visit. So they have our Five Strong shirts on, but they also received shirts at the visit from Albany State. Okay, here. Okay, I'm going to start by letting you guys watch a couple of these very brief videos, and we'll continue from there.
I did not see myself going to college, to be honest. All throughout high school, I was always that one student. I always got, all A's, took AP honors classes. But when it came to like SAT, ACT, I feel as though I wasn't prepared enough. So once I got my scores back, I looked at it with my mom and my father, and they were like, I don't think you're gonna, you might have to look at the military, son. And I was like, let's give this college thing one more go. And I kept getting defeated all the time after I took the SAT and ACT. So if it were not for Five Strong, I would not be in the position that I'm in. Five Strong has supplied me with so many opportunities I can't even count. I've been president of 2 organizations. I've, made honor roll every year. Like, who said I'm not college ready? I'm a product of what Five Strong can do.
I knew I wanted to go to college, but I refused to put myself in debt. Before Five Strong, I was going to go to community college. I was going to take the cheapest route to get some type of degree. With Five Strong, though, I got the financial support. So once my tuition was paid, I knew I could handle the rest. I am currently the president of the Pre-Alumni Association, and I'm president of the Gorgeous Gamma Mu chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And Five Strong is the only reason I have the time to really be invested into them. I don't have to worry about having my bills paid or having my tuition paid because I have the tuition and I have scholarship money that supports me. So I get to be fully invested in my college career, and it's enhanced my experience amazingly just to literally have that support system, having these people who are going through the same thing as you, who have gone through the same thing as you, and they can relay what they've learned, and they can just help you out throughout your college career. If it wasn't for Five Strong, I wouldn't be on track to becoming an HBCU graduate and a Black woman in STEM.
Okay, so those are 2 of our recent graduates. Actually, they're no longer in school. Those 2 students are college graduates now. Khalid graduated from Alabama A&M. He's now back at school in graduate school, getting his master's degree in food science. And Raven is actually, she's a graduate, and she's now working for Eli Lilly, which is a Fortune 500 company up north. And she's actually been there she actually interned with them a couple of years. You know, she didn't stay in her room every day. She got out of her room, went on campus, attended all the major functions that were major resources on campus. So she found an opportunity to get a major internship, which turned into a very good job for her.
I did not see myself.
I knew I
Okay, so one thing Five Strong wants to attack is the Black college student graduation rate, which is at 42%. We definitely want to make sure we can help get that graduation rate a lot higher than it is. We definitely want to work with HBCUs to make sure that that graduation rate increases. And one thing we like to do, as Khalid mentioned, his test scores weren't that good, so he didn't think he would be able to get into college. We're a firm believer that despite you not having the super duper ACT 25 and up test scores, or the SAT 12, 13, 14, 1500 test scores, that you can still go to college and be very successful and graduate in 4 years. We also want to help close the racial wealth gap. And the way we believe in doing that, all of our students get full tuition scholarships. That means they get tuition, but they don't get room and board. We also provide a lot of resources for them to find that extra funding to pay for their housing, the room and board, and things like that. We tell our scholars that your part-time job is to continue looking for scholarships. Some of you guys that are seniors right now, that's something you should have started. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already on it. That should have been started before you entered your senior year. And that's something you should be doing throughout your senior year and throughout your college career. The goal for Five Strong is for our scholars to go, stay, and graduate from college in 4 years or less with zero to minimal student loan debt. So we can help close the racial wealth gap by our scholars graduating without that $300, $400, $500, $600 a month student loan payment. You know, that's a major payment. That's a house note. That's a car note. That's some money that you could be using to invest or to buy a house or different things like that, instead of being in debt for that amount of money. Okay. So I've been the CEO for Five Strong since 2015, which is when the idea was concepted. I also have over 25 years of experience as in public school education. My last 12 years, I was a high school counselor, which is where I got my passion to help students get into college, get funding to go to college, and be successful. But the issue I kept running up against was that a lot of the kids were coming home after year one, after year two, because they either lack funding, they lack support, or both. And so Five Strong was developed to help kids with both of those issues. So we have our selection process. Regarding prospecting, if you've already been hungrily looking for scholarship money, you've been on several scholarship databases, scholarship.com and different scholarship databases like that. Five Strong is listed on several scholarship databases. So a lot of kids, before we even present to them, they've already done their research, found us on scholarship databases, and have already applied. We'll also do a lot of the major college fairs in Metro Atlanta. And even when schools have college fairs, we participate in those fairs. And we also do school presentations. I was just at Carver STEAM, or Carver High School in Atlanta, Georgia, just earlier today doing a presentation. Talent scouting, bottom line, we're looking for kids who are actively involved. We want kids who want to be actively involved, especially when they get to college. Because once you go to school and you pledge a fraternity or sorority, you're in SGA, or you join one of the 100 organizations that they have, once you really become involved on campus and you develop that school pride, you're not going to have a problem making that HBCU your home for the next 4 years. As opposed to sitting in your room all day, saying you're bored, calling mom, saying I'm homesick, and next thing you know, you're back home, you're transferring or trying to transfer. But a lot of times when people drop out, they end up getting jobs and the money gets a little good for them and they don't go back to school. So we want kids to go, to stay, and to graduate. How do we select our scholars? We've been recruiting, and our application has been open since August 1. At our website, fivestrongscholars.org. The application is there. If any of you are interested in applying, make sure you apply on the Atlanta app and not the Houston app. And there is directions for that. But we have 3 rounds of intense interviews. We start in January. If you meet our minimum requirements to be selected for an interview, you will be invited in January. The first round, large group interview process. Second round, individual one-on-one interviews. And the third round is a panel interview where we actually decide who the finalists are. And then once you are selected, we're a scholarship program. We're not just a scholarship. For kids who are hungry and who are already applying to scholarships, if you get the scholarship that you receive, most of those scholarships the funding will be sent to your school, will be put in your account, and you will be able to access it through your account. With Five Strong, besides getting the scholarship money, we are a scholarship program, which requires a commitment. And it requires a commitment in February at the earliest of the year, which means that by the time you get to February in your senior year, you will have already committed to where you're going to school. You already know you at least have a full tuition scholarship. So all you have to do now for your senior year, finish strong academically and continue to look for more scholarship funding. So what's the commitment all about? Well, we have signature programs that we expect our scholars to commit to. Number one is we have mandatory bi-monthly college-ready prep sessions in person, not online, not Zoom. We did the Zoom thing during COVID. We prefer to get to know our scholars in person. So twice a month, they're 30 days, 31 days in a month. We ask for 2 days out of that month. And if you can't make that commitment, then we understand why you wouldn't accept being a part of the program. But we expect the people who we make the opportunity available to, for them to commit to attending the bi-monthly college-ready prep sessions twice a month. And we cover topics like balancing academic and social life, building relationships with professors and advisors, dealing with mental health, navigating the college campus. Now that I have a full tuition scholarship, what's next? Well, what's next is how do I find more funding? We bring in a scholarship professional to help you aggressively look for more scholarship funding. A part of the college ready prep sessions is also to attend our college visit. So whatever school you are selected to be a part of, be in that new cohort for Five Strong, we will take you to visit that HBCU. It will be on a school day. You will get excused, but we will provide transportation to take you to visit that HBCU with your cohort, with the group of students you will be going with. And when you get to that campus, you will meet the other cohorts and upperclassmen that are part of Five Strong. And they will have an opportunity to share with you information about what your next 4 years will be like. Pictures on the right show, top left picture is one of our college ready prep sessions. Bottom right is one of our college ready prep sessions. Top right is our college visit to Fisk University. And the bottom left is our college visit to Fort Valley State University. And the guy in the middle is the president. He comes out each year for our tour to meet our amazing kids because he's really proud of what our kids are doing at Fort Valley. Our first cohort is supposed to graduate from Fort Valley this year. 2 have already graduated. 1 graduated in 2.5 years, another one graduated in 3 years. So those kids, those of you that are doing dual enrollment, it works and it will get you out of college quicker and it will save you a whole lot of money. So keep doing that and keep being successful at it. Part 2 of what Five Strong does is that the commitment is that we have a Five Strong Scholar Tracker support system, which means our scholars are required to submit their mid-semester and end-of-semester grades to us each semester. Why? Because once you get a scholarship, you must maintain a minimum GPA, and you also must have a minimum number of credits each year. So we want to make sure that you're on track to keep that GPA up, to keep those number of credits so you can keep your scholarship. That's the most important thing. You keep your scholarship, you get to stay in school. And that's the whole part about balancing academics and social life. We want you to be involved on campus. We just had a couple of young ladies that just crossed over AKA at Fisk University. We want you to be involved, but at the same time, you need to remember why you're there, which is your academics. You also have the support from the Five Strong staff throughout your 4 years of college, from matriculation to graduation. Phone calls, emails, texts, we stay in contact with you. You will be meeting with your cohort, the entire cohort that's on campus. You meet monthly with them And you also have a campus person who's your staff, the staff member from that school, who's your campus mentor / liaison. Okay. Regarding the Black college student graduation rate, which is why we're all in this thing right now, 5 Strong kids graduate, 75% graduate in 5 years or less. The national average for Black kids to graduate in 5 years is only 35%. Our cohort from 21 graduated. We graduated 61% of our kids from our 21 cohort, 63% in our 22 cohort. The national average to graduate for Black kids to graduate in 4 years is only 21%. And when you do your research regarding what colleges you want to attend that you're interested in, you'll see their graduation rates. Please keep in mind, those graduation rates are based on 6 years. Not 5 years, not 4 years, but based on 6 years, because that's the average amount of time it takes a person to graduate from college. So our goal, stay, graduate in 4 years. Why? Because the money runs out after 4 years. 5 Strong's minimum requirement is 3.0 GPA, 990 SAT, 19 ACT. That's the minimum, meaning that some schools have a higher requirement. Fisk has a higher requirement. Some schools don't even have a test score requirement. So the minimum test score requirement is 19 ACT, 990 SAT. That's for the schools that require it. When you go to 5strongscholars.org to apply, you will see our list of schools and you will see the requirements for each school. For Fort Valley, Albany, and Savannah State, 3.0 GPA, Hope GPA is required, which means if you want to be a 5 Strong Scholar, either one of those schools, your full tuition will come from Hope, but your college prep class programming, your mentorship, your support, college visit, all that different stuff, all that will come from 5 Strong. So for kids who are interested in being in a support program, they don't just want to go off to a university or a college by themselves, they want to go with a family, be a part of a family, then that's what 5 Strong is, and that's what we offer for our state schools. Out of state schools, you get the tuition scholarship from them, and you also get the 5 Strong support. Again, 5strongscholars.org is where our website is, where the application is, where there's a list of each one of our HBCUs, a link to each one of their campuses, videos about each one of the schools, and more information about our scholars. We also have information on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. That's where you can go to find out a lot more about our amazing scholars at 5 Strong. Okay, here are our current HBCU partners. Alabama A&M, which is one of our most competitive schools. We only send 5 kids there a year. Albany State, we just talked about Albany. Bennett College is the only other all-female HBCU. It's a very small HBCU, actually in Greensboro, down the street from North Carolina A&T. But some kids really benefit and need a smaller college family feel environment. And Bennett is actually welcoming the young ladies that want to go to college. They're taking kids, we're helping kids get into Bennett with a 3.0 and still get full tuition scholarships. Where else can you get a full tuition scholarship with your high school 3.0? I'm not even talking about the Hope. I'm talking about your high school 3.0. Fort Valley State, Stillman, which is in Tuscaloosa, home of where University of Alabama is. Lincoln University is right outside of Philadelphia. Texas Southern is for our Houston applicants. Alabama State University. Benedict College, which is in Columbia, South Carolina. Fisk University is in Nashville. Langston University is right outside of Oklahoma City. Savannah State. Voorhees is in South Carolina. Voorhees is one of the few schools that we have that will probably allow us to let a kid get a full tuition scholarship with less than a 3.0, meaning maybe a 2.8 or a 2.9. But we don't want that kid that's truly at 2.8 or 2.9. We want that kid who has the 3.5 or higher potential, but life may have gotten in the way and you just weren't able to perform academically as best as you could. But so we help you have a second opportunity to go to school with Voorhees. Houston Tillerson is in Austin, Texas, and it's also one of our HBCUs that's only for Houston applicants. So again, for Fort Valley, Albany, and Savannah, you have to have the Hope GPA of 3.0, not the high school GPA where you attend 3.0, but Hope GPA. If you do not know your Hope GPA, which you should by now, you're a senior, and it's a very important number to know, because if you're going to get if the least amount of funding you should get to take the college with you this year, especially if you're going to stay in state, is the Hope Scholarship, which covers your tuition at any state schools here in Georgia. But in order for you to find out your Hope GPA, you have to go to gafutures.org, and you can find out exactly what your Hope GPA is. The reason I say that's an important number, of course, you need that Hope GPA to get the tuition paid for if you're going to go through 5 Strong. But at the same time, you need it if you're going to attend any state school. And you also need to know, because somebody may be sitting on a 2.9 right now, you don't even know it, which means you got to get to work, get it up to 3.0 before you graduate. Some people were sitting right at 3.0. That's important, because you're sitting on 3.0 and you decide to go through senioritis this semester and your GPA drops, then that 3.0 drops to 2.9 or lower. So you don't want to be in a position to lose that money also. So please make sure you find out what your Hope GPA is. Okay, bottom line, go, stay, graduate. Our kids send pictures all the time of the amazing things they're doing on campus. The most amazing thing they can do on campus is graduate from that university they attend. So you see, I have quite a few graduate pictures on here. Top left, though, is one of our 5 Strong scholars is Miss Benedict College this year, which is a really big deal. But most of the kids have on the graduation paraphernalia. The group in the middle is a group at Alabama A&M. The young man in the middle, he became Mr. Delta. He was in an organization, he was in a contest sponsored by Delta Sigma Theta, and he's there, Mr. Delta. The people around him are his 5 Strong family coming out to support him. This young lady to the right is from Albany State. She's only a sophomore, but since her being a sophomore, she has continued to get other scholarship money because of building her relationships with her professors, and she's gotten research grants and different things like that. Young lady at the bottom is one of Fisk's cheerleaders. And the 2 young ladies, the ladies in the top right corner, one young lady is sitting down. She's the one that graduated from Fort Valley in 2.5 years. She's now in grad school at University of West Georgia. The other 2 ladies on the right, they pledged Delta last year, so they're representing their sorority. At the bottom, apply at 5strongscholars.org. If there are any questions, I have my email address and phone number listed on that website. You can always reach out to me. If you have any questions, I'll take some now.
So students, as always, if you have any questions, you can feel free to kind of drop them in the chat. Any questions about not only 5 Strong, but as I said before, this brother works in scholarship. So if you have any other kind of questions about things you can do to make yourself a good candidate to be at one of these colleges or receive, scholarship funding, you can ask those kind of questions as well. He is an expert at what he does. As he said, he has years of counseling experience as well.
I also put my name and my email in the chat, so you can always reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions?
Question. Oh, okay. I wanted to ask, when you're in college, will you have to keep up with extracurriculars and in your community to continue getting scholarships in college? Or if you just go to college and your education is already paid for, there's no reason to continue pursuing scholarships? For example, for your master's degree, or if you're getting a PhD.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother level of your education, and you will have to pursue funding for your master's and your PhD. That's separate from, we right at this point, we're not offering funding for that second level. So that's when kids actually perform well and do well, and they build that really strong resume along with a great academic resume. A lot of our kids end up going to graduate school for free. We have one young man who's actually at a university in DC, and he's going for free because of his resume and his track record from college.
That's an excellent question, LA. As competitive as it is right now for you guys to go from high school into college, right? Going into some you're in college to work on your career, right? And so just the same where there are levels to undergraduate programs, there are levels to master and doctorate degree programs. So if you have, aspirations to go into certain fields, building good relationships with your professors will really help you out, because your professors are going to be able to tell you, oh, you know, you're really talented in biology. If you want to go to the next level, these are the biology schools that you should be applying to for your next degree. Right.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, relationships are very, very important. And the same way, and I'm going to say this as a person that works with high school students, because I want y'all to understand this. If you go to college, and I know every one of our staff people on this call can attest to this, you know, as well as Mr. Ragland. If you go to college for 3 or 4 years, you should not have to call Mrs. Leggett when you need a recommendation, or call Mr. James when you need a recommendation, or call Mr. Stokes, or call me when you need a recommendation. During that time when you are in college, you should be building relationships with those advisors, with those college professors. You know, people like Mr. Ragland, people like Mrs. Stokes, we always are going to be here to support you. But after you do 4 years in college, you really shouldn't be reaching out to your high school support system to give you a recommendation for grad school.
That's so
I'm just
true.
putting that out there.
It's important.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any questions? Anybody with questions?
But somebody asked, Haley asked, is this only for seniors? Yes, Haley, it's only for seniors, but we want the information to be for juniors and underclassmen, so they can start knowing what to start striving for. A lot of kids don't wake up to their senior year for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what they've been doing the previous 3 years, but some kids don't wake up until it's too late. I go do a lot of college fairs, and kids they still don't know the GPAs. They don't know what the Hope GPA is. And, you know, by the time I speak to you in your senior year, you should know what your GPA is. You should know what your Hope GPA is. You should have a list you should know what your test scores are. You know, people are submitting applications to 5 Strong, and I ask, and when it says, what's your test score, I'm getting IDK. Why would you put IDK on the application? You don't know, or you didn't take the test. I mean, IDK. So, you know, so for underclassmen, there's a lot. The key to kids who are not seniors is to keep working hard now. Don't fall off, because as soon as you fall off, the higher you get in your high school career, the more difficult it's going to be to increase your GPA. It takes a lot more work, and it's a lot harder to jump that GPA. And it's very easy for it to drop as a 9th or 10th grader. Once your GPA drops very quickly as a 9th or 10th grader, it's going to be difficult to bring that back up. So your goal is to make sure by the time you become a senior that your ducks are in a row. Your GPA, by the time you enter your senior year, you should have already taken at least 2 or 3 SAT or ACT, not waiting until you become a senior, and not just the free one that you get at school. The free one that you get at school is cool, but that should be your introductory to it or whatever. Then right after you get your results from that free one, you should be preparing for the next one. And that should be before you even hit your senior year. But we're finding kids who are seniors that they hadn't even taken the test yet. They took the free one, but they didn't take it serious, or they don't really want to tell me the test score, you know, things like that. And that's not that serious mindset that's needed to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so, yeah, I agree with everything Mr. Ragland said there. But yes, so for all of you underclassmen, right, we want to make sure that you are getting a little bit ahead, right? It's like, you know, so every single year, he is right. We have seniors that are preparing for freshman year, starting in their senior year, sometimes starting in the second semester of senior year. And we want to avoid that if we can, right? So if you are in 9th, 10th grade, and you are already kind of planning, right? Let me say this to everyone that is on this call. College costs money, a lot of it. So the earlier you start saving, the better off you're going to be a lot of times. It's just like anything else. If you were saving for a car, you wouldn't start saving for the car a month before you're trying to drive somewhere. You start putting money aside, you know, well before you need the actual vehicle. I know some of y'all now that want a car when you're 16 and you start saving money when you was a freshman because you wanted to, you know, have whatever you needed to have. Right. And so the same kind of thing goes with college. You want to make sure that, you know, what do I need to be doing? And this is why we have all this staff with our program. What do I need to be doing in 9th grade, in 10th grade, you know, to make sure I'm in the best position possible when it's time for me to leave high school and start the next part of my journey.
And Kiana Burt, she just made a very, I guess is Kiana Burt one of the staff members?
Yeah, one of the staff people, right?
Yeah, Kiana, and she's a perfect example of why we want kids to graduate debt-free as much as possible. She just said, she's still paying for her college loans right now, and she's been out of school 15 years. So if that doesn't wake you up, and I guarantee you, she's not the only one. I can promise you that go to your high school, talk to your teachers. Quite a few of them are still in that situation, and we want to try to make sure our 5 Strong Scholars stay out of that situation so they can use that money for something else positive to grow that funding. So are there any other questions? Okay, well, thank you for being very attentive. Mr. Stallings, thank you very much. Mr. Stokes, also, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Brother
Seniors,
Ragland.
best wishes, finish strong your first year of your senior semester and finish definitely your second semester.
Mr. Ragland, let me make sure I say, so the application deadline for this year is December 1st.
Yeah, now we may push it to the end of December because there is a December test.
Okay.
And some kids who waited to the last minute, and some kids are going to need that December test. So we still have space open. We will go ahead and wait for those kids because they'll get those scores before they go home for Christmas break. So we sometimes we will wait for those kids to get those scores in.
Okay. But if you
I have a question before you leave, Mr. Ragland.
Yes,
So for those participants that get into, are they able to choose their schools, like your partner or your school?
See, that's
partners?
a great question. Great question. Well, this is how we do it. Basically, when you apply, you get to select the top schools that you're interested in. Now, we have like 14 HBCU partners, so you may only be interested in one. If that's fine, that's the one you're going to interview for. You know, like I said, Alabama A&M is one of our schools that's extremely competitive. So if you ain't bringing the smoke at the group interview where you're going to stand out and look strong amongst everybody to make it to the second round, it's going to be kind of hard to stay in that competition. But some kids are interested in more than one of our schools. So, you know, Alabama A&M may be your first choice. Savannah State may be your second choice. And you may not always, everybody's not going to get their first choice. But you will. We're only going to give you the school that you select. So, but you have to compete for that school. So we're sending, if we on Alabama, we can only send 5. But the kids, like for the state schools, we're a little bit more flexible because they're getting that Hope Scholarship. So we will increase. We sent 10 kids to Fort Valley, 10 to Savannah, and 10 to Albany this year. But some of the smaller schools that give us the funding, that reserve the funding for us, they only allow us to choose 5 kids. So, but you select your top schools, and then you can make changes for them or whatever. But if you're really strong, you'll probably get your first choice. If you're not as strong, you may get your second choice. But the schools that you go to, we will be something that you had on your list.
Okay.
Unlike Posse, now Posse was like, oh, you may have Boston University on there, but I like you better at Worcester, and they send you to Worcester. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Posse did that, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And guys, I just want to say to all of y'all, don't be afraid of the competition, right? Y'all are at a point in life where everything is about competition. If you applying for a job, you're applying for a scholarship, you're applying for these colleges. It is competition. These things have limited seats. And it's like Georgia Lottery. You can't win if you don't play. So sometimes you just gotta do your best and do the application. Send your prayers up, make yourself the best candidate possible, but go ahead and put it out there and just see what happens.
Exactly.
We don't want any of you not applying because you're afraid of not getting, right? That's not a mindset that's gonna serve you well in the future.
Ms. Leggett, are you a part of TRIO? I see that in your background.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because
I am.
A lot of people don't realize that's a college resource, college also. And you can get a lot of great things by being a part of TRIO when you get to college. So we try to, because we got kids. I know we got kids at Langston that are actually working with the TRIO program. And there are a lot of the great resources that you can get. So that's what we try to push our kids to do. Take advantage of those. There are a bunch of resources that are available on those HBCU campuses, but you won't find them sitting in the dorm. You got to get out and become involved. And I think somebody said, when do you apply? Where do you apply? 5strongscholars.org. I'll make sure I put that in the chat also. Let me do that right now.
All right.
Okay. So that the link, I just put the link in the chat, but it is 5strongscholars.org. I'll send some more information directly to Mr. Stallings, so you can, if you need more information, I can send it directly to him, the link and all that other information also. If there aren't any other questions, I definitely appreciate your time. I know you guys seem to be taking care of a lot of business. I love seeing seniors and other and students in general in other programs and programs that's going to help you, you know, become a better you. And those are the type of kids we like to recruit, because we know that y'all have taught these kids something. So they'll come into our program already with the mindset. I know how to be a mentee. I know how to learn. I know how to listen. And they transition in our program quite well. And those are the kids who are even more successful, kids who have been a part of a successful programming and mentorship. So thank you guys for what you do. And I look forward to doing this presentation every year with your program. Just stay in touch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all have
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Seniors, finish strong your senior year, and best wishes.